I wasn't really planning to do this. I was sort of just sitting there thinking, I really like that film and I want to talk about it, so here I am. I saw Knives Out today, enjoyed it a lot. What I liked about it is it generally was just a story. I know that's most films and that sounds pretty stupid, but it was just like a very interesting story that happened. I haven't seen a murder mystery film for like a long time. Well, Murder on Orient Express, which had Daisy Ridley in it. I think that was the last time I saw a murder mystery film, and I was like, it was alright. It was an alright film, but this is way better. If you clicked on this, I'm not really going to explain Knives Out. I'm just going to assume you guys you know what's going on. I've not planned this out at all, to be honest, but I kind of think this is the best way. What did I think? I'm going to give a quick thoughts about it with no spoilers, and then I'm just going to do spoilers because so very good film. Acting was very good. Lots of twists. You think a big twist is sort of revealed at the start and you're like, oh well, that's it, and then it just keeps on going and going, and the story sort of comes together piece by piece very slowly as you go through. Director was also Rian Johnson, who directed Last Jedi, which I very, very much liked, and a lot of people didn't, so maybe I should do a video on that at some point. Spoilers. Gonna go straight into spoilers. If you've seen Knives Out, which I'm hoping you have, the mystery, the killer, is sort of revealed fairly early on, and I was sitting there like, what? I'm pretty sure this film has about an hour and a half left, and they've just just given out who the murderer was, and I'm like, oh, what happens now? I was sitting there like, literally, what is going to happen for this next hour? The murderer was meant to be the nurse person, Brazilian lady, who mixed up the medicine for the super rich writer guy. It turns out it was not, in fact, her fault that he died. It was one of the sons who got cut out of the will because he switched to medicine, didn't he? That was it. It was just a very interesting story. I know I've said this already, but it's just something I haven't seen for a long time at the cinema. I couldn't really predict what was going to happen because, like I said, murder revealed really early on, and I was just like, well, now what happens? At the very start, I was like, because it sort of follows. What was her name? Martha. Was it Martha Watson? I think. The nurse lady, it sort of follows her throughout the way, and I'm like, okay, well, she's sort of our main character. You know, you've got the rest of the family, but I was like, she's the main character, so she's obviously important. And then they revealed she was the murderer, and I was like, okay, right. And it just sort of kept on going. And I was like, surely that can't be it. I know she's the main character. The fact that she was sort of the main character, I didn't think that she would be the murderer, so that completely threw me off straight away. I thought all the characters were pretty good. The family were very annoying, which I'm sure was on purpose. They were all just sort of rich, spoiled kids who just wanted their dad's money. Daniel Craig, his American accent, I'm pretty sure he's English, right? Daniel Craig.
According to Wikipedia, Daniel Craig is an English actor.
Cool. So his American accent at the start I thought was kind of annoying, and then you just get used to it. It's sort of over American, but I guess that's just director's choice, isn't it? I didn't like it too much, but then you just get used to it after a while. The person who plays the nurse, I have no idea who she is, but very, very good. I'm gonna actually see who she is now. It was I saw her at the end actually, it was like Anna something. Anna the Armourers, definitely said that one. Actress, what else has she been in? Knock Knock, oh, the new Blade Runner film, didn't see that. War Dogs, not seen that. Knives Out, seen that one. Oh, she was in James Bond, the one with Daniel Craig. So yeah, she's actually been in a fair few things. But I thought she was very good in this film. Probably the standout acting performance in this. I mean, everybody was good in it. It's definitely a well-acted film. Another thing that I thought was a very interesting sort of plot twist, I guess you call it, was the fact that he did literally commit suicide. The fact that the nurse she just knew her job so well. She knew which bottle to pick up purely on the weight. And the fact that the guy was not going to die, but they thought they did. And he murdered himself to cover up and help save the poor Brazilian girl who was probably the nicest person in the film, and he didn't want to help out his family. Okay, quickly, just one thing that I didn't like about this film really was the humour in it. It's probably the only thing I could pick out, despite it being a fairly long film, and I did find myself getting a tiny bit restless. The humour, there was just odd jokes and just bits that happened which I just didn't find funny, and I was like, is it really needed? I guess again, director's choice. It was just personally, I just didn't find that funny. There was a couple of bits where she was walking all over the footprints in the mud, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty funny. Actually, the very final scene in the room sort of goes through the entire story and explains it. It was a bit cliche, sort of, okay, this is the bit where the detective has worked everything out and he's got the entire story and it's all put together. I think that's always going to happen in a murder mystery film, so you can't really get around that. It just felt a bit like, okay, this is the bit where everything is explained. I'm trying to think of a way that you could get around that now, and nothing's really coming to me, so I can't dislike that bit too much. The other final bit I didn't like was, at the very end, there was a bit where Chris Evans, Captain America, tries to kill the nurse and goes to stab her, and it's just a fake knife. This film would have been far more of an impactful ending if she just had died. I think maybe this is a thing for me, that I don't really like happy endings in films too often, because a lot of the time it's just not going to be a happy ending, is it? I mean, that's a depressing thought, really. Saying it out loud, it kind of seems a bit ridiculous, but if she died at the end, I would have just been like, what? That film is crazy. But I also liked how it ended up with her sipping the cup in my house and she won, so, you know, either way. That's actually why I preferred Infinity War over Endgame, because of the impact that ending had. Everybody was like, what? Half the characters have died. And then Endgame was, I mean, it still had an impactful ending, but anyway, this has nothing to do with Knives Out, really. I would recommend to go see it. I've sort of just chucked this camera on and not really thought about what I'm going to say, so I'm probably going to just end this here as a first little like mini review on this channel. And most films I go see, I'll probably review from now on. I mean, I could do the ones that I've already seen, like Joker, because a lot of people absolutely love that film, and I thought it was bang average. Oh no, okay, one last thing I want to say. There was one scene where she gets called to the blackmail thing, and it just was proper, like, freaked me out. I was like, what's going on? And she goes into like this old warehouse washing machine place, and it's just all dark, and you can see this person sat on the chair, and it's just like, you have no idea what's going on, because I was so confused throughout this film. And then it wasn't until you get close you find out who was in the chair. I don't really want to say much more. I've probably butchered explaining this film, but definitely go see this if you are interested in murder mysteries, or, you know, you just want a good film. You can end this here because I sort of rambled on. Tell me what you think if you've seen this film. See you for Frozen 2.